Hello. We're live right now. You can hear some music in the background. That's the radio playing that I'm currently also working. Now, we are going to be catching up with John very shortly here. But I wanted to get the live video going so you guys would get a chance to look and watch and follow. Now, I'm going to get some computer work going on here. Actually, I'm actually logging on to Facebook so that I can share this up with the appropriate parties. We are still live, which is a good thing. This is the Info Assault, by the way, hosted live by jessfm.ca. And we are coming to you from Canada. We're actually going to be calling New York today. Excellent. Found the post, and I'm watching myself. Can't keep my post to myself. Yeah, I am that lame. But enjoy. This is going to go on for like another hour. Where am I posting to? Let's post to here. So we just posted it to the page, I Hate Donald Trump. And now we are posting it to Jess FM. Hey to you guys. And now we're going to send this to a group. And first we're going to send it to anti-Donald Trump. It's got just over 2,000 people there. That's another one I manage. With John's assistance, actually. John Catugno. He's going to be our interviewee today. So, should be good. Once I call him. And we're going to share this to another group. This is going out to I Hate Donald Trump. This is the original group. This is the big one. There's going to be a few from there watching, I'm sure. What's up, guys? And where else do you want to share this to? Oh, I'm going to send it to the other moderators. John is one of my moderators. He's very invaluable with the things that we do here. Share in separate messages. So we've got Carmen, Kelly, John, Ariel. I mean, there's quite a few, but we'll send it to a couple just to begin with here. And now I'm gonna go and track down John's phone number. And we're gonna pause that music too, because honestly, you guys have no reason to hear it. You're listening to me. Trying to anyways, and that was one of the complaints that I got last time, is that nobody could hear me. So, again, for those of you who have just tuned in, we're going to be going live. I'm your administrator for I Hate Donald Trump, as a few other pages as well, but we're going to be calling John Catugno internationally and discussing some things with him. Possibly some of your questions if you decide you want to start commenting, because I can see them. John will be able to hear me, you'll be able to see me, and you'll be able to hear both of us. If I've got this set up right, which I have done it once before. Now, just looking up John's phone number here. Looking like, oh, there it is, Okay, one sec. Phone. I'm still here, I just gotta play with the panels and switches and dials and whatnot. But John, you're getting a call. John, where's that phone? Do. There we are. loud, isn't it? It'll get better. Ho ho ho. Oh. Yeah, sorry, Nolan. You're totally right. It is very loud.
Hello?
Hello, John.
Hello?
How's it going, buddy?
Who is this, Thomas?
This is Thomas, and you are live on jessfm.ca, hosted
Oh, I'm so glad.
Info Assault,
Wow.
I Hate Donald Trump, Anti-Donald Trump. There is already there's like over a dozen people watching you right now, and they're all waiting, and they're excited, it looks like. So, we're actually live on multiple groups as well as the radio.
Okay.
We are going all over the place, man. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is John Catugno from New York City. You kind of caught me while I'm helping my friend move, but it's all right. He already knew about this interview, so as soon as he heard about it, so he said, "All right, take a break, do what you need to do with this interview." So,
Nice. So, is that a buddy in New York?
yes, that's correct.
So, you're currently in New York, are you?
Yes, I am.
What parts of New York are you from?
Queens, New York, in the 5 boroughs.
Queens, New York. Wow. So, is that where your
Yes,
buddy
sir.
lives too, then?
Excuse me?
Is that where your buddy lives too?
No, he moved way out to Long Island.
Long Island,
Way out.
Queens. Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you do on a daily basis, John?
Okay. What I do on a daily basis, I go to work.
What do you do for work?
Okay. What I do is I do commercial and residential financing.
Okay, all right. So it sounds like you actually got a reasonable position here.
Correct. Yes, I do commercial residential financing. If people want to buy a house and need financing for it, you come to us. We're a direct lending bank.
Cool. So you got,
Also, if you
Yep.
needed to start up a business, you come to us because we're the one that do the financing for that too.
Excellent. All right, makes sense.
Yes.
So you've got a full-time job. What
Correct.
else do you do in a day?
Okay, what I do during the day, from when work is over, I hit the streets protesting
You know,
against.
I've seen you out there a lot on Facebook, actually. You've got quite a lot of people that seem to follow you when you go out in the streets after you've done your day job.
Hey, and it's unbelievable too, Thomas. I'm telling you, I never thought in my wildest dreams, me, a guy that, because the story, this is how it goes. Like, I did not, when he was running, I was like, 'cause the thing is, when you're in New York City, you know what kind of person he is for so many years.
Well, he's
So
from
many
New
years.
York, right? And now, who are we talking about here? Just in case people aren't quite following what we're discussing at this
Donald
time.
Trump.
Donald Trump. Arthur Burnright says, huh? Question mark. So we're talking about Donald Trump.
Correct.
Okay, keep going, man.
Okay, well, I noticed, when I noticed he was running and I heard the stuff he was saying, I was like, first I was thinking to myself, if he wins, I'm leaving. I'm out. And Thomas, I would have come join you right there in Canada.
You're not the only one that was saying it, man. I mean, it was a pretty strong feeling.
It was. But then when he won, I was ready to leave. And then people were telling me, oh, give him a chance. He hasn't even done anything yet. Give him a chance. So I just kind of sat back. I was like, okay, let's see what he does. Sure enough, all the decisions he was making, Thomas, I'm going to put it to you this way.
Okay.
There's two things he has done correctly so far. One, he is over the age of 35, and two, he was born in the United States.
All right, so he's met the minimum requirements for being president legally.
Correct. I mean, yeah, those are the two requirements. Yeah, exactly. So now, I'm and listen, I was going to leave, and then I said, you know what? If I don't leave, I'm going to verbally knock this dude's head off. So I went out there. I bought shirts that said, F Trump. Trump, sucks. But I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the radio. Am I allowed to say it on the radio?
Yeah. No, you're still live everywhere, man. Freaking. Let me just pause you for a second here. I got people asking questions. Actually, they're saying, Thomas, are you in Canada? Why are you involved in U.S. politics? That is an excellent question, Burnright. I would advise you to go and check who your administrator for the group that you are currently in is replying to and who made the group. That if you understand anything about presidents, their primary job is interacting with other countries and managing their own, which is why Canada and the US have some pretty strong links. But we could go into that later. But John, I want to hear more about your story. Let's keep going here.
Okay. So then I went out. I started just putting up pictures and me wearing the shirts that I bought and some shirts that I made and blasting the middle finger up at Trump Tower. And it just made, and I could not believe what kind of effect it had on people. People were thanking me. People were friend requesting. People did unbelievable things, saying listen, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I was getting comments like hero, icon, all these things, and I'm like, whoa! I did not think that.
Well, people are looking for somebody to stand up against this stuff.
If I mean something to you, and people are saying thank you for being our voice for people that can't do it themselves. I was like, this is unbelievable, and And I said, listen, if you feel that way, and that's when I kept going. And then I went to rallies. And then what the biggest thing that happened at one rally, I'm wearing an F Donald Trump shirt. And I'm wearing a beanie that says, Trump's not my president.
Yeah.
Now, when that happened, I was like, okay. They had these people talking, whatever, and then they gave an opportunity for other people to talk. They said, does anybody else want to speak?
Yeah.
Everybody in the crowd kind of looked in my direction, including the speaker.
They're expecting you to step up to the plate and to come up with some sort of inspirational speech for the crowd, for the masses. All right, so what did you do? John Catugno.
John Catugno.
Catugno. So that's Italian. Catugno. With a GN.
So they looked at me, and I was like, they said, do you want to speak on the mic? They asked that. And I said, actually, I don't want to speak, but I want to rap a song. And they said, sure, go right ahead. So I rapped my song, and the crowd, about Trump, and the crowd went absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Nice, buddy. Nice. Did you get it recorded?
What's up?
Was it recorded at all anywhere?
It wasn't even recorded at the time yet.
Man, that's cool though. That's cool.
My original intention was to release it on Trump's birthday, but the problem, the delay that we had was because of that baseball shooting that took place. We kind of decided to hold back on the release because of the fact of the baseball shooting. We just kind of felt it wasn't appropriate at that time,
Yeah, makes sense.
The baseball shooting happened on Trump's birthday,
So, so you went to this demonstration, you rapped, people went nuts. Now, do you do this kind of thing like every day? Do you organize this kind of thing? Do you get buddies together? What else do you do?
Well, I'm also an avid rapper. I'm actually have a show coming up on September 15th at 135th and Malcolm X Boulevard in Harlem, actually.
Sorry,
Hello?
There's a bunch of people that are actually replying to this as we're talking here. So I'm both carrying on a conversation with you live on radio while simultaneously keeping the comments, satisfied.
Correct.
So, no, this is good. So, keep going.
I'm performing.
Where do you perform? Do you perform a lot? Do you record your performings at all? Pardon?
About everything with politics, and I have no hesitation to speak about how I feel and wear how I feel, like wearing it on my shirt, wearing it on my hat, and
You've got quite a collection, don't you?
I had actually, a good amount of people marching behind me, chanting the chorus to the song that I came up with as we're marching from like Trump Tower to the Trump Hotel. We're marching down from Trump Tower to Fox News station. We protest about pretty much everything that's going on in current events, from like Trump firing Comey to the Portland stabbings.
Yeah.
And just how it's turning to be a very, in my opinion, and a lot of others I've noticed, a very fascist regime.
There is a distinct flavor of fascism these days, for sure.
Yes.
So, what do you think that you going to these demonstrations and organizing these protests is working? Do you think that you're getting people to actually realize that there's an issue, or do you think that it's causing people to maybe have a little bit of resentment towards it?
I think it's working for the simple fact of a couple of reasons. One, more people are joining us each day.
That is true.
During the Truth March, we had thousands upon thousands of people there, and that was on June 3rd, 2017. And then after that, I look at Trump's approval ratings, and it's just dropping and dropping and dropping.
They are dropping quite substantially.
Something is going on here. People are starting to agree, and then people that used to, debate with me and support Trump.
Yep.
All of a sudden are now starting to say things, starting to not do that as much. And then recently, I've seen about 5 different people, because the thing about me is this: I don't block those people on my, on my friends list or followers or anything like that, because I'm more of the type of either you're going to block me or I'm going to be the one at the end of the day saying I told you so. So that's my tactic. I don't just block. I don't block people. I won't do that. But now I'm starting to view what they're posting, and they're saying things like, why didn't Trump call out the KKK and the neo-Nazis?
Good question. I wonder why he wouldn't specifically do that. I mean, it's almost like the last World War we fought was, against that, and our side won, and it was a really clear Nazis bad. Our side good, our side not Nazis. So there is a little bit of a question here. Why are people suddenly... Why do you see Nazi flags in the streets of the U.S. these days? That's weird. That's not normal. That wasn't always there.
It makes no sense.
So...
As a matter of fact, I had a debate. Somebody tried to debate against me who called me and said, "You're anti-American." But yet his profile picture was a picture of Hitler. And I'm like,
some of these people literally will do anything to push your buttons.
Second, what makes Hitler so pro-American? He blocked me right after I said that.
Well, that'll happen quite often, actually. But
it does, and it makes no sense. It's like you had the Nazis were fighting against us. They were anti-American as they came, but now it's like you have Nazis here, which are just, they are the most ignorant people and the biggest disgraces on this earth. I'm not, the KKK, same thing too. And me, and for those of you that don't know, I am white, but I will say this, as a white American, I am sick and tired of other white people's racist BS. I am tired of it.
Racism can apply to any race. Let me just clear this up for people. I've had people quite recently try to argue that you cannot be white racist. That is bullshit. The definition of racism does not have anywhere in it that says except white race or except Scandinavians. No, racism is a universal concept that you just need to read the definition to figure out what it is. So at no point can anybody ever say that there isn't white racism as well. But I think that there's a big problem with all racism.
Exactly.
So now, John, you've done a lot of work for me. You're one of those nasty moderators that does that crappy job on all those websites with all that junk.
Right.
So, what do you want to tell the 24 people that are watching or so?
Well, I think I would like to say this. It's crazy. People come in and say what they're doing, but me, I like to have, before I go for, if I'm going for a kill, first I like to, go in and find out more about the person. Go in and see who their friends are. Go in and see who their employer is. Because the other day, as a matter of fact, is it okay, Thomas? Is it okay if I throw a quick shout out?
Yeah, throw a shout out, man. We got some time.
I would like to shout out my friend, Sheree Williams.
Sheree Williams.
Where some troll got on her, got to her messenger. You, N-word, are the reason America is going back. And I'm like, so now we went on his site. We found out where he works. We got the phone number to where he works, and a bunch of us, multiple people, sent over the message that he sent, called the employer, called the HR, and now he's under review. So you know what? If it's gonna, because you know what, you could always block people, but it's not gonna. Okay, they're not gonna bother you, but they'll go bother somebody else. But that doesn't have a message sink in. Maybe it won't sink in, but you know what? I think that if you do it that way, I definitely think there'll be a hesitation, there'll be a thought, maybe behind, before you go, saying real, disrespectful, hurtful things to other people. Me, my stance has, because this is the thing you gotta understand, everyone. I grew up in New York City. New York City is the biggest cultural melting pot of the world. We grew up with all races around us, all religions, and sexual orientation. And we learned, to get along. We learned to live in harmony and peace. And, the other day I was at a barbecue that had there wasn't a single race missing at the barbecue. There wasn't. So it's like when you go ahead and say something like that, what that guy said, no. You need to be held accountable for your actions. That's hate. And to me, that's not here anymore. And honestly, that's what Trump wants. And I am not about to give him, I'm not going to give him anything that he wants, but I will do everything in my power to stop hate, to stop ignorance, and only bring us more toward a direction of unity.
Okay, wait. I've got a guy named Arthur here who's watching.
Go ahead.
Now, Arthur, do you want to debate with John, or do you want to debate with me? I'll just give him a second to reply. He's typing live here, so there's a little bit of a lag. But let's see how John wants, or let's see how Mr. Arthur here wants to play this. There's another one, Nolan. He says either one. Okay, name a topic.
So you asked him to name a topic?
I'm waiting for them to name a topic.
Okay. Let's do it.
They're asking what the debate is. They come here complaining there's no debate, and then I say, okay, let's debate, and they go, okay, I don't know what to say. Come on, boys, let's go. I'm live, on air, radio. You're replying to me. What do you want to talk about? John wants to talk to you as well. They're very quiet all of a sudden. It's crazy. It's crazy. You said it twice. Oh, and you couldn't say it a third time. Debate the pros and cons of dogs. I like dogs. That's a great idea. But that's from Nicole. Nicole, well done. Hey, John, what do you think about dogs?
What do I think about dogs?
Yeah, what do you think about dogs?
Oh, man, I love dogs. And believe it or not, I had one of the most friendliest pit bulls in the world. His name was Tyson. And honestly, I had a belief about Tyson. If ever an intruder broke in, he'd probably grab his toy rope and want to play. Like, I love dogs.
Dogs are great, honestly. Dogs are great. They're pretty much, I have my dog and I love her. I train her all the time. We go on like hour-long walks and yeah, no, you've seen videos of her or whatever. Her name is Lexi. She's great. But
okay.
Yeah. No. Man, I wish I'd brought her. That would have been awesome. I should bring her on the show one time. That would be great.
That'll be an amazing show.
But we were briefly talking about moderating for these groups that all these people are replying to. And,
Yes.
let's see, how do I want to... there's been people... there's actually trolls right now who are still
Right.
complaining, which is totally cool because that's kind of how we roll. But why is it that why do you and I both, because we both have the ability right now to remove both of these guys, why do we let them stay?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell them why they're still here.
Oh, why they're still here? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One, well, this is from my standpoint and what I was taught.
It's your interview, man.
I would like to find out more about you.
I would love to find out more about them too, but they didn't want to talk when we asked them.
But they didn't. Wait, I didn't hear you. They didn't what, Thomas? You broke up there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. We gave them the opportunity to say anything, and they were silent. So that leads to an interesting question: are they here to actually debate?
Thomas. Listen. One, I've never been a troll, so I'm learning about what their thing is about. Like, it's one thing if you want to talk. My thing is this: if you come on and you talk to me, and this is what I've noticed about Trump supporters, especially here. This is here in New York. But I've noticed they'll have a debate with you. They won't be so they won't be disrespectful.
Yeah.
They'll talk, and then I'll say my facts. And then usually what winds up happening is they have to go rush to Google to see, what I said was correct.
To double check the facts.
The thing about me, it's nothing but the facts.
That's a crazy thing that I've noticed as well, is you can say a fact, and it's like, you can tell that they've never heard that before, and they go and check it, and they come back, and suddenly they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And you keep going with this stuff, and you go, well, why did you not know this stuff? Why am I telling you this stuff, and you're shocked by it? This was public knowledge. So, but keep going. I like where you're going with that.
Now, like, for example, the other day, I had a debate with a coworker at my job, and let me tell you something, at my job, there's 11 people that work at my office, and I am one of the only 3 people that are against what Trump is doing. The other 8 support him. Now, here's the thing about it. Now, one of them had a debate with me about the wall, for example.
Yeah.
He says to me, how the wall needs to be built, like those jobs should go to union workers, this and that, But I said, okay, but that's okay. I hear what you're saying, but tell me, why does Trump want to take away union workers' rights to negotiate wages? He stopped for a minute, and he was like, is that really true? I was like, go look it up. And he did. He's like, wow, I didn't actually know that. And then he tried to say, well, here's the thing about health care. I think veterans should get the ultimate #1 health care, for everything. And I said, okay, that's fine. But why is he taking away their Meals on Wheels programs for, wounded warriors and wounded veterans? He didn't know that. So he went to look that one up.
Yep. And suddenly...
So it's like... It's just pretty much... I think what happens is this. Some people just don't want to let go. Some people don't want to let it go. Some people want to just not admit they're wrong.
That is very true. Admitting that you might have made a mistake is so painful for some people. They will never, ever be able to actually actively sit down, look you in the face, and say, I was wrong. They will fight to the death, no matter what.
Absolutely.
But there are some people, smarter people, who can hear a fact, check a fact, and change an opinion. Those are the people that I think that we need to focus on, and I'm hoping some of them are replying, because a lot of the time, trolls, believe it or not, are a lot smarter than you might think. They just act stupid, which is irritating, but you can deal with it. But keep going. No, I like where you're dealing with this. Let it go, let it go.
And the ones, but like you said, what you just said, Thomas, which is very interesting, is the ones that actually do take the time to look up, because I've noticed it happened to 5 of them already. I have seen 5 people so far. And you listen, 1 is okay, but there's more. 5 people went from being Trump supporters that I know to now being Trump haters.
That's exactly how it's going with me too, man.
They have learned from facts. They're smart individuals. They voted him for various other reasons. Like,
yeah, they have good reasons.
The number one thing I keep hearing the most is about, the people that don't work and, like, how they get their checks or whatever. Now, I can respect your opinion. I can. But the thing that I have a problem with is when you cross that line into people that do work hard, that are in some of the most vulnerable situations. Like, for example, I get phone calls all the time from people, from my followers. They are parents with special needs children. And it doesn't help them. And I'm going to shout out Ron Forte on this one because he has a special needs child with autism. Medicaid was supposed to do this big, gigantic event for kids with autism, and now Trump's trying to cut $800 billion out of Medicaid, which he promised he wouldn't do in the election. What is that? Do you think that event's going to be held?
I mean, at this point, it's almost like when he says something, or when he promises something, or when he's gonna do something, I don't even put stock in it. Like, if he does it, that's great. But if he doesn't, it's almost like you expected him not to, because that's what he does. If he doesn't do it, you know what? That's just what he does. If he does it, oh, he's a hero. But if he doesn't do it, that's standard for Trump. So he can't really be held accountable for that. But no, I'm holding him accountable for all of this crap. Literally, as we're talking, I'm posting articles to these guys about how Trump was stealing cancer patient money, or how Trump used the wrong missiles in Syria because he owned stock in them, or just crap like that all the time. And so, no, it's frustrating. But one thing that I have noticed, have you ever met somebody, and I'm asking the people that are watching here too, have you ever met somebody who is relatively smart, who originally supported Hillary or Bernie or left or whatever, and then, after learning about Trump, changed their mind? Have you ever met anybody who, after learning more about Trump, was like, oh yeah, that's a better guy? Never in my life.
No,
the more you learn about him, the worse he gets. It's only stupid, ignorant people that support him.
The only thing close to that I've ever heard was when the Manchester bombs went off on another group somewhere. Some guy tried to say, guys, we made a big mistake in going at Trump. He's going to help us with the... I'm like, don't even go there, pal. No. I just fully disagree on that. That was the only time. Nope, you're absolutely right, Thomas.
I couldn't hear a thing you just said there, man.
Oh, shoot. No, what I was saying was this, is that I only heard one time somebody, switch their opinion to favor Trump. Only one time. Because I've been out there on many various anti-Trump groups, and on one post that I did, somebody actually commented and said, guys, I think we made a big mistake here. I think...
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. Slow down.
Hello?
Hello? Kate, try again. Keep going. You're clear again.
I'm there again. Yeah. After the Manchester bombing. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Great. After the Manchester bombing, I heard somebody say something along the lines of Trump, like, guys, we made a big mistake in going and, like, hating on Trump, because he's going to help us with terrorists and everything like that. I'm like, wait a minute. First off, he spoke way too soon. That supporter spoke way too soon. We didn't even know it was a terrorist act, if it was, that it was Muslims or whether it was whoever. But that was the only time I ever heard somebody switch their opinion. But other than that, you're absolutely right, Thomas. I never heard anybody do that. Besides that one time. That was it. Are you there, Thomas?
I am here. I am here, man. It's no, and I think honestly, more than anything else, the fact that people who become educated typically go in one direction really shows something, and you don't even have to know what they learned. But the fact is, as people learn, they support Trump less. Why?
Exactly.
Why would you even? I mean, you can come up with the things they might have learned, but why is it that the smarter you get, the less you would support Trump? It's because Trump isn't looking out for your interests. Trump doesn't have you in his corner. Trump is looking out for Trump. Trump isn't looking out for America. If America happens to benefit by something Trump does, great. But if it comes down to a choice between America or Trump, Trump wins. And you can see this all over the place. In fact, what I'm going to do now for these guys here, they've probably never heard of the biggest deal on the planet. Most of you have, you know what, I would wager you haven't heard of the biggest deal on the planet. It was a $500 billion oil deal between Russia and I'm just typing it up here. Now, this article that I'm grabbing for these guys on Facebook, this was written in January. So this has been known about for quite a while. And what this article basically goes on to say is if Trump were to try to commit some sort of collusion or whatever semantics you want to use, this is a really good reason why he would do it. Because it's the biggest deal in the history of the planet. $500 billion. All you got to do, withdraw from the Paris Accord. This was before he had withdrawn. Lift some trade sanctions. This is before the trade sanctions were lifted. Now, he's doing these things. These things aren't helping America. He's telling you that it will, but he'll tell you anything to make you believe anything, obviously. But why don't you actually go look for yourself? You know, every single statistic is available from country to country internationally. You can check. You know, if Trump says America's doing better because somebody else is doing worse, you can check who's supposed to be doing worse. They'll tell you. If America's screwing them over, do you think they're going to go, oh, no, America's totally treating us great. We're doing awesome. We're making tons of money. No, they're going to tell you. They're going to be straight up, no, America's screwing us. And Canada is getting screwed in several respects. But, again, anybody who doesn't bother to do the research will never be able to figure this kind of stuff out. And I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but there's a distinct correlation between people who use words, specific words, like creative words, like libtard. Have you ever heard of the word libtard?
Correct. I've also heard of Trumptard, too.
Trumptard, yes, absolutely. I mean, these are all very descriptive terms for all different types of people, but they're essentially, they're avoiding any type of argument or conversation when they're throwing in these random words instead of actually using a reply to the conversation that I'm having while staring at them in the face. So, Benji, here's looking at you. And speaking of, did you guys hear about those sexual assault statistics? They were posted by the Department of Justice. It was a study done between, I believe it was 1993 and 2013. It was published in 2014. It said that only one, out of 100% of sexual assault victims, only 20% of college-age sexual assault victims ever say anything. Only 20% ever come forward.
That's terrible.
Yeah, well, you can imagine they feel a little bit of shame or whatever it is. There's cultural things, and there's a lot of reasons why a woman wouldn't want to come forward publicly to accuse somebody of sexual assault.
Correct.
There's tons of reasons. So many, in fact, that 80% of women do not come forward after they've been sexually assaulted. Again, you can check the statistics. They're posted. But then you look at Donald Trump and his history. And as it turns out, over the course of his lifetime, separate incidents, there has been 16 separate women who have also come forward to identify one person.
Right.
Now, does it really seem possible that if 1 out of every 5 women report a sexual assault, that 16 would come forward? Now, is the question, are any of them liars? No. Some of them are lying. Some of them are trying to get money from him. But are all 16 wrong and Donald Trump is innocent? Is the argument that 16 different women from 16 separate occasions, when only 1 out of 5 women ever come forward statistically, is the argument that all 16 of those women are liars? Or is Donald Trump guilty of sexual assault? Because those are your options. Nolan. Nolan's replying right now. Gold digging hose, says Benji. All 16 of them. Let's, you know what? I'll grab you an article here, too. Here, Benji. Hey, did you, John, did you ever get a chance to read those articles on, sexual predator Donald Trump?
I think I read one. It was a while. I think it was back in like 2014.
Well, I actually wrote a couple myself here.
About it, like I'm not vaguely sure about it because you know what? It was always like this for me growing up in New York. It was like to me. I always looked at it as, okay, this doesn't surprise me about Donald Trump. We already knew what he was for so many years because he's in our city. You know, we knew what he was, and now this is the thing that when I saw this in 2014, before he even thought about running for president, it was like, okay.
So again, you're not even surprised by this. People from New York, people that actually know him, they aren't surprised by this.
No, we're not.
This is what people know him to be. Again, the smarter people get, the more they learn about Trump, the clearer it is. Why don't you trolls that are reading this spend a little time reading some of this stuff that I posted for you? There's some very informative articles here while I'm multitasking. So, but keep going, John. Keep telling us about the history and the New York and the Trump and the why you're not surprised by it.
You know what? We've known he's a liar. We've known he's a sexist. We've known that, you know, he says the most idiotic, irate things out there.
How long have you lived in New York?
We know that he has cheated people. We know he has lied constantly, and he does it for his buck. Now, in real estate, which I was in commercial real estate, okay? Mm-hmm. Even the commercial real estate business, we're not fans of him. We don't like him because of the fact. Now, one thing that the commercial real estate fraternity has always done, we've worked together. Like when one person is being a representative, like for example, commercial leasing, for example, one person's representing tenants, another person will be representing the landlord. Now, we're trying very hard to make a deal happen. So we know to get along with each other. Now, thing we always knew about Trump, that wasn't quite the case. He would use a very bully tactic. He would lie. He would have, and look, I mean, hence what's going on at the White House right now. How many replacements there have been? How many firings? How many resignations? How much of that is going on?
Yeah, you know what Trump supporters spin it as when Trump fires somebody?
Sorry, Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, Trump supporters, I've actually had them argue when Trump fires somebody, he's reducing costs. He's saving the country money by firing his advisors.
No. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard.
I love the tone that you had with it. Like,
replacement.
No.
What?
Oh, no, keep going, man. Actually, how long have you lived in New York? Did you live there in the 90s?
Did I live in New York? I was born in 83, so...
Yeah? Cool. Did you ever hear about when Trump Tower was into a scandal with Russian mobsters involving laundering money?
This was back in the 90s, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I might have been, Thomas, listen to me. And I'm
pissing you off now, aren't I? I'm pissing you off now, aren't I?
And I, honestly, I might have been a little too young to hear, that at that point in the 90s. But But I will definitely research that one. That's for sure. Listen, hey, I'm all about knowing the facts. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, they're basically just a brief summary here, and anybody can really look this up.
Right.
Essentially, what they're surmising happened is there was Trump Tower who had condominiums,
right.
very high-end condominiums, which were available for sale by cash anonymously. Now, when you have an anonymous condominium sale by cash, you can use dirty money, you buy a clean asset, and if it's anonymous, you wash it, you sell it, and suddenly you've got a bunch of clean money, which is great. But in the mid-90s, they found out that the Russian mob was doing this. Now,
this doesn't surprise me.
there's tons of articles here. I literally just typed in Trump Tower, Russian mob, mid-90s, and the page came up littered with links. It's Trump's mob and Russia ties could prove, Trump's Russia laundromat, Trump's business network reached alleged Russian mobsters, FBI investigated Russian mafia at Trump Tower for 2 years. It keeps going. It keeps going. You can check.
Right.
You can check, but I'm just going to post the very first one I found here because I'm sure that the trolls are going to have so much difficulty going to Google and typing in Trump fraud or Trump Russia. So, there you go.
Correct.
Yeah, no, Trump is not a good guy, generally speaking.
No.
Yeah, I get the very first...
I have a quick question for you, Thomas, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, wait, what was the, what source said that? I'm just for my own knowledge, I would like to know.
Sorry, what was the question?
What article source said that, or the name of the article or the name of the news that said that? I'm just curious for my own knowledge.
Oh, I can, I'll read off all of them that I see here. There's City Paper, New Republic, USA Today, Independent.co.uk, Daily KOS, Newsweek, Veterans Today, Slate.com, The Daily Beast. There's pages and pages and pages of it. So,
I mean, all of those sound pretty reliable sources. Those are all
reliable sources for me. I personally, when I see something from a business type website like Forbes or Business Insider or something like that, I generally feel they don't care much about who is the president. They care about where they're making money and what is actually happening in the economies. So I tend to believe what they say. Or, in terms of actual news outlets, one of the best that I found is BBC. BBC is, they're really good. Now, CNN is good, but they do have quite a left lean to them. They're accurate, but they do portray things in a way that may be biased. And I am aware of that as well. But I don't actually own cable or satellite. I don't have any, So, I don't know if that answers your question or not. Hey, Benji, why don't you...
that perfectly...
There's a guy named Benji. He's laughing pretty hard. Ha 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 ha. BBC. I wonder if he thinks it's a bank or something. He probably... I mean, he's like, I don't know what these are. This is... No... confusing.
See, this is the thing about me, though. If a Trump supporter wants to tell me, something, and we can go look it up and see that it was fact, I'm always up to look for it because I want to learn. Rather than Trump supporters do, what a lot of them have done in the past, which is the name calling, posting pictures of people's family members up, and it's just like, come on, it's so childish. Just like, let's talk facts. Let's have a smart, detailed, factual, political conversation. Let's not talk like children here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to insult somebody to get your point across. But
absolutely not. No way. It's not necessary.
So, John, what else do you want to talk about here? This is your interview, man, and we're closing in on just about 45 minutes-ish here.
Yes.
So was there anything in particular you wanted to make sure you covered, or?
Well, I think we've covered. I think we've definitely covered a lot. And we still need to keep the fight going. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Because this is wrong. What's going on here? It's like everything you don't call out. Like when you don't call out, for example, like what happened in Charlottesville. It's bringing out hate, and people that I never knew were ignorant. It brought the ignorance out. Like he's making it seem like it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't call out KKK, you don't call out neo-Nazis, and then you have to wait a few days later to finally call them out after you came up to such media scrutiny. And then you gave them the pat on the back the next day saying, I know people from both sides and they're good people.
Both sides are good people.
How are you going to say that?
No.
That's not...
No. People are fighting are not good people. That's...
No, exactly not. No. But yet he was quick to call out MS-13. He was quick to call out Muslims. He was quick to call out, he's quick to call out all these other things. And it's just like, I know why he's not calling them out, because those are the people that voted for him and he wants to keep his fan base. Which to me, it's just, it's morally a wrong thing to do.
Oh, hey, wait,
John.
John.
We're supposed to all love each other, but yet,
Hey,
it's just not happening out there.
There's some random Facebook user who's, I can't actually say, it looks like they've probably blocked me or they're trying to be sneaky. I don't know what they're doing. But what they would like us to say is that we condemn Antifa as well.
Anti-what? I didn't hear you.
Antifa.
Antifa. Okay.
Yeah, that Antifa is bad, KKK is bad, both extremes are bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
I don't know. I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know why you're asking me this. But
and I don't understand why he blocked you after he said that.
No, it's I don't know either. I don't know if I'm blocked or what his issue is, but
okay.
Yeah, he just keeps saying it. He just keeps going. It says Facebook user condemn Antifa. That's yes. Benji. Oh, that's Benji. Oh, Benji decided that he didn't want to have his account out in public anymore because
yes.
Benji is the name of a little bitch. Oh!
Oh, wait, is this the Benji that I killed from the group?
Yeah, that's the same Benji. He's coming onto my page now to be true.
How you doing, pal?
How you doing? Yeah, no, this is why they want to argue with you, man. I know. They think that they're actually getting us upset here.
I know, right?
I know, right? It's good. So actually, one of them gave me a phone number.
One of them gave you a phone number?
They want me to call them right now.
Oh, go ahead. Let's give them a call.
Well, I can't keep you on the line. I've only got one line.
Okay, you only got... Okay.
I'm asking you, though. It's your interview, though.
Before you let me go...
Yeah?
Hello, before you let me go, because I do... I don't know. I'm only down to like 10% battery left.
Yep.
But I would like to give a couple of quick shout-outs, if that's okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Take your time, man.
Okay, thank you. I would like to shout out, first off, everybody in the I Hate Donald Trump group. I'd like to shout out everybody in the Anti-Donald Trump group. I'd like to shout out everybody in the group, in the FK the Orange Man group. Okay, I'd like to shout out Carmen, Kels, Vincent. I'd like to shout out Mauro. I'd like to shout out Marcos. I'd like to shout out Christina Steele. I'd also like to, and another person I'd like to shout out, the love of my life, Angela Provenzano, okay? And a shout out to everybody in the cause here. Keep up the fight, keep resisting, and don't ever give up. Don't ever give up.
Fight hard, man.
Let's keep this going, okay?
Yeah, morals
and
and ethics.
I thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you.
It was a privilege, and I would love to do it again sometime.
I wager we probably will, man. There's always going to be stuff for us to talk about, and I wager we're going to be buddies for quite a while here. So
absolutely. I'll get my shout-outs before you hang out. This is www.jessfm.ca, Info Assault, Thomas James Arelis Carpenter, and we already mentioned all the groups. And I'm going to give Mr. Nolan a call here real quick. As soon as we're done, we'll give him a 5-minute breakdown. So, John, we'll talk to you in a bit, man.
Take care, Thomas. Thank you very much.
Have a great day, buddy.
You too. Bye-bye.
So let's see, how does this work here? Perfect. So we hung up, and let's see if we can get this going.
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about yourself, Nolan?
I can't really hear you too well, but I can somewhat make out what you're saying. I'm doing all right. I'm pretty bored right now.
That happens to all of us, man. So
Hey, man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
where are you from?
Alive. I'm breathing.
Where are you from, man?
Pardon me?
Where do you live?
Oh, originally I'm from Edmonton, but at the moment I'm residing in Texas.
In Texas. Right on, right on. So if I remember right, you were one of the gentlemen that lives half the year in Canada and half the year in the U.S.?
Pardon me?
You live half the time in Canada and half the time in the U.S.?
No. At the moment, I'm kind of in some shit. So I'm residing in Canada. I'm in Texas right now, visiting. But, no, I've lived in Texas for the past decade. Just some shit hit the fan, you know.
As it does. Hey, you know, if you got to get out of the country, man, you got to get out of the country. So, how do you feel about being on live radio in Canada?
Pardon me?
How do you feel about being on live radio in Canada right now, then?
I guess I feel on top of the world.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we're actually broadcasting from... We are actually in Alberta right now, actually.
Is that what my IP address says? Because that's not true.
No, I'm in Alberta.
Pardon me?
I am in Alberta.
Oh, you are in Alberta. Whereabouts?
We are in southern Alberta, just a little bit south of where you were living there.
Okay, yeah, I'm in, where I live in Alberta at the moment is Darwell. It's,
Okay.
A little two-horse town up maybe an hour and a half west of Edmonton or so.
So I guess why don't you respond to your friends? Why do you care about American politics as a Canadian?
I cannot see the live comments at the moment because I'm not sitting in front of it.
Oh no, these were comments from like 45 minutes ago. The very first things they asked, why do you as a Canadian have anything to do with American politics?
Because I've been living in Texas for the past 10 years.
Okay. So, but you don't live there now.
Pardon me?
But you don't live in
about
Texas.
Canadian politics. Don't ask me about that shit. I'll embarrass myself.
No, I won't ask you about Canada. I'm just asking this is what these guys are saying. They're saying you live in Canada, so why does your opinion matter about American politics?
Because I live in the States. That's where my home is.
Okay, so you consider America your home even though you don't live there right now.
Well, okay.
So are you an immigrant?
For maybe like 2 or 3 months. I'm about to be moving back to Texas in October.
So
I've been living there since March.
Are you an immigrant?
Maybe another 2 or 3 months at the most.
Did you get deported with Trump? Did Trump deport you? Is that what happened? Did you get sent back to Canada?
I can't hear you, dude. I'm using a texting app at the moment. I can't really...
fair enough. No, I'm just... It's it's odd timing. You got into some trouble, and now you had to leave the country right as Trump started deporting immigrants. Is that odd?
No, actually, my mom was dying, so...
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Healthcare.
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, no, it's not because of Trump.
Well, actually, if you had better health care, then you wouldn't have to come to Canada.
Yes, because we lost our business to a flood, so we couldn't afford health care.
Yeah, no, it's, we do get floods, but we still get health care.
Okay, well, awesome. That's not Texas. That's not the States. That's not their policy.
That is Trump.
So
that is what you voted for, right? That is what you're supporting.
That is exactly what I voted for, and just because my mom is dying doesn't mean that I want health care to be provided.
I totally understand where you're coming from. You could save your mom, no issues, or you could vote for Trump. I totally get your priorities.
But as a small business owner, we are certainly Trump supporters.
That is really good to hear. So, are you glad that you've come on air and you've told 120,000 people that your mother's health is less important than voting for Trump?
I'm sure she would probably say the same thing too. I wouldn't be surprised if she's listening as well.
I would be. I can see how many people are watching, and I know where they're from.
Okay, well, I mean, she'd full on support everything I'm saying as well. So
Good, good. I'm glad that you guys have such steadfast resolution. So, if your entire family got sick,
it's like 8 days.
many times, health problems are genetic. So, if your family continued to get sick,
I can't hear you.
oh, sorry, man. I'm just many times health problems.
It's all on my end. I'm just saying.
No, it's all good. I'll repeat myself as much as you need. I understand. We're international phone calling on like 7 different technologies, so it's impressive we're even talking. But I know that a lot, especially from the research I've done, many health issues are genetic. I
heard something about health issues, and that's all I heard.
Genetic, they get passed down. So mother, grandmother, aunt, uncle, children, they all, generally families have the same health problems.
Yes, but my mother has this thing called sarcoidosis, and it's such a rare disease that it's more of an environmental thing, they believe, than a genetic thing. So
no, absolutely. But I'm just clarifying that many times health issues are genetic. So if you found out that
it cannot really be prevented at the moment, there's only like literally a handful of people in the world that have it. It's just
but we're not talking about that disease.
It only kills you if you don't get it attended to.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that disease.
It doesn't mess you up if you don't get it.
No, we're talking about healthcare in general and diseases in general.
To tend to her at the moment, so we had to go back and get
honestly, I'm sure the people really don't need to hear about the specifics of a disease that nobody has.
Pardon me?
I'm sure that the people aren't that interested in a disease that nobody has, but I'm sure they are interested in things that everybody has, like healthcare or other diseases.
You brought something up about it being genetic.
No, I was trying to talk about genetic diseases. So, diseases that are genetic. Do you know anything about diseases and genetics or healthcare? Or I'm just trying to find a topic that you sound smart talking about.
I can't hear you, man.
Okay. Diseases that are genetic. They run in the family. If you had a family disease, would you rather...
Is the mic... I'm watching the stream on my phone right now.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, no. It lagged. It's lagging. Fuck me. I'm sorry. This is shit. My phone's all trash, man.
It's all good, man. I'm pretty much closing in at the end of my time here anyways. So... Before I go, was there? I mean, you literally are telling me about how you had to leave the country because
I lived in Canada for 3 months.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I'm glad you know so much, or you want to know so much. That's very flattering.
Hey, no, I'm interested in anybody that would literally move to Canada to get the thing that Trump took away from them and still vote for Trump. That is amazing. I can't believe that you're actually on the air telling me that you come to Canada to get the thing that Trump wouldn't get you and you still support him. He could give you everything you need in America.
Hey, because I've been working at a liquor store for the past 3 months, and when I get my check in the mail and I see how much money has been taken off of my fucking paycheck, I think, hey, maybe we shouldn't be paying so much for this healthcare, you know? I'm getting 60% of my paycheck taken out of my my paycheck.
And who's the president that's doing that?
Coming out of my paycheck.
Who's the guy that's doing that?
So
the guy, they have the bills.
Why I wouldn't want, Canadian healthcare for fuck's sake. What do you want me to call it?
I'm saying there is systems everywhere else in the entire world. America has one of the worst healthcare systems, and it's worse because of Trump.
We don't want to be like the entire world.
Yes, you moved to Canada, dude. You came to Canada. You're in Canada. You can't say you don't want to be like Canada while you're in Canada getting the shit you can't get at home.
Well, no, I don't want to be like Canada because, my entire family's Canadian, and I just can't wait to get the fuck out of Canada.
After you get the stuff you can't get in America. No, absolutely, I get it. America sucks, and you got to come here to get the stuff you can't get back home.
America's wonderful.
Except for when you can't get, healthcare.
The people, the culture, the politics, it's all beautiful. I love it.
Enjoy your stay in Canada while you get your free healthcare, buddy. With that, I think we're going to let you go, and you enjoy voting for no more healthcare so you can keep coming up here every time somebody needs to get fixed.
I will enjoy I will continue to vote for my
You good luck, buddy. You have a great day.
Hold on.
And that's Nolan for you. Nolan, the American immigrant who needs to come to Canada to get the healthcare that he voted against getting in America. Classic. Classic. Good stuff. With that, we're going to be wrapping up the live feed and the radio entertainment here as well. First, we are just going to get some regular music playing for the radio. And you guys have a great day.